Hello, my name is Lisa, and today we're going to talk about Wortstellung und Fragen auf Deutsch, so how you do questions in German and word order, basic word order. So let's start with statements. So a statement can start with the subject, and then in the second position you have the verb and then everything else. So for example, ich gehe am Samstag ins Kino. I go on Saturday to the movies. I go to the movies on Saturday. However, like in English, we don't always start with the subject. It would actually be kind of odd to always start with ich or with the subject. So often we place something else first, like a time phrase. Like on Saturday I go to the movies, something like that. So we can do that in German too. Am Samstag gehe ich ins Kino. And notice here that the verb is still in the second position. So this is a difference to English, because in English you say on Saturday I go to the movies. So in English you don't change the word order, but in German you have to keep the verb in your second position, and then the subject ich comes afterwards. So am Samstag gehe ich ins Kino. And whenever you do that, whenever you put something other than the subject first, not only the verb has to be first, but also right after the verb you have to have the subject then. So the subject has to be in the third position if it's not in the first. Okay. And another example would be meine Eltern kommen morgen. So my parents are coming tomorrow. So meine Eltern is the subject, and it's first. And the time phrase is after the verb, but you could also put the time phrase morgen. You could also put that first, and then you say morgen kommen meine Eltern. So again, kommen stays in the second position, and then afterwards you get the subject. Okay, let's look at WH questions. WH questions are questions with words like why or who or when. In English they are WH, they start in WH. In German they start in just W. And whenever you have a question like that, you put that question word first, like in English. Like in the first example, wann gehst du ins Kino? When do you go to the movies? And then after the question word in the second position, you get the verb, just like you did with the statements. And then after that, you need your subject. So du, wann gehst du, and then everything else, ins Kino. Was machst du am Samstag? What do you do on Saturday? Wie heißen Sie? What is your name? Und woher kommen Sie? Where are you from? So the important thing is that you have to have the WH word in the first position, and then the verb second, and the subject right after that. Okay, and now let's move to the yes-no questions. So unlike WH questions, yes-no questions have to be answered with either yes or no, while WH question could be answered with a lot of things. So gehst du am Samstag ins Kino means do you go or are you going to the movies on Saturday, and the answer could be yes or no. But the answer is not something like on Saturday or because I want to, right? So the answer is yes or no. So that's the difference between WH and yes-no questions. And see here that with this type of question, the verb has to be in the first position. And then afterward, in the second position, you get the subject, and then everything else. So gehst is your verb, it's first. Du is your subject, it's second. And then am Samstag ins Kino comes after that. Kommen deine Eltern morgen? So come your parents tomorrow? Again, kommen is the verb, and it's in the first position. Your parents is in the second position because it's the subject. Sind Sie Herr Müller? Are you Mr. Müller? Sind is your verb, is first, and Sie is the subject, it's second. Und haben Sie einen Stift? Haben is your verb, and it's first, and Sie is your subject, and it's in the second position. Okay, so that was basic word order and questions in German.